Have you ever answered a simple question, only to realize too late that it was a trap? That smile, that soft tone, it felt harmless, but the moment you replied, you handed away your power. Liars don't always attack with lies. They attack with questions. Subtle, clever, designed to make you doubt yourself until you fight your own mind instead of them. And if you've ever fallen for even one of these questions, chances are someone already has control over you. Today, I'll expose the 5 traps liars use and show you how the Stoics would break each one with calm, unshakable clarity. 2,000 years ago, the ancient Romans already knew this game. They lived in a world of betrayal, political scheming, and whispered manipulation in marble halls. And yet they had a shield: philosophy. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, 3 voices that still speak louder than the liars of today. They warned us, a manipulator rarely comes at you head-on. He does not shout his lies in the open. He plants seeds, tiny doubts, subtle traps disguised as innocent words, and if you are blind to them, you end up fighting shadows, doubting yourself, and surrendering your peace without even realizing it. Think about this. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The liar knows this better than anyone. He doesn't need chains to control you. He only needs to bend your imagination against you. Epictetus taught that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The manipulator twists this into a weapon, shutting down your curiosity with a smile, convincing you to stop asking questions just when the truth is closest. And Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best answer to anger is silence. Not silence of weakness, but silence of clarity, the kind that refuses to play the liar's game. 2 millennia have passed, empires rose and fell. Technology changed everything about how we live, but the questions liars ask, those never changed. They only became more subtle, which is why today we will uncover the 5 most dangerous questions manipulators still use. Questions that look innocent, but are designed to corner you, weaken you, and steal your clarity. And more importantly, I'll show you how the Stoics would respond. Calmly, clearly, unshakably. Question 1. Why are you being so sensitive? It sounds harmless, doesn't it? Almost like concern. A soft laugh, a tilted head, a playful tone. Why are you being so sensitive? But behind those words hides the first strike of a manipulator. This is not a question. It's an accusation disguised as care. What they're really saying is, you're weak. You're imagining things. The problem isn't me. It's you. Think back for a moment. Have you ever raised your voice against something unfair, only to be brushed aside with a smile? In a relationship, maybe you noticed a small betrayal, and instead of honesty, you heard, "Oh, come on, you're just too sensitive." At work, maybe you questioned the ethics of a decision, and the reply came with a shrug. "Don't overreact, it's just business." That's not kindness. That's a weapon. Because what they are really trying to do is strip you of your greatest defense, your awareness. And here lies the truth most people forget. Sensitivity is not weakness. Sensitivity is radar. The one who feels deeply sees danger sooner than the one who sleeps through it. A financial analyst who spots tiny inconsistencies in the books, mocked as paranoid, until a multi-million-dollar fraud is uncovered. A wife who senses a shift in her husband's tone, dismissed as overreacting, until the betrayal is revealed months later. In both cases, what was called sensitivity was in fact foresight, an early warning system others chose to ignore. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Manipulators exploit this truth. They don't need to prove you wrong. They only need to plant a seed of doubt in your imagination. Once you begin questioning yourself, they no longer need to attack. You will do it for them. That's the true cruelty of this question. It doesn't silence you directly. It teaches you to silence yourself. So, how would a Stoic respond? Not with anger, not with frantic defense, but with calm clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for it is truth that I seek, not victory." A person who truly values you will never shame your awareness. Only those with something to hide are afraid of your perception. The next time someone leans in and says, "Why are you being so sensitive?" don't take the bait. Don't defend. Don't apologize. Simply look them in the eye and answer calmly, "I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant." Does that make you uncomfortable? One sentence, and you will see it happen. The mask begins to slip. Question 2. You trust me, right? On the surface, it sounds so gentle, almost innocent. You trust me, right? But don't be fooled. This is not a request, it's a trap. Because anyone who demands trust instead of earning it has already revealed their weakness. Think carefully. A trustworthy person doesn't need to ask for faith. Their actions day after day are proof enough. They build trust the way a mason builds a fortress, stone by stone, consistency upon consistency. But when someone looks into your eyes and insists, "You trust me, right?" what they are really saying is, "Don't think, don't question, don't ask for proof. Hand me the keys to your judgment." Maybe you've seen it before. A business partner who avoids showing the numbers but leans across the table with a smile, "Trust me." A lover who hides their phone but whispers, "Don't you trust me?" These are not invitations to intimacy. They are demands for blind faith. And blind faith is the breeding ground of betrayal. Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Liars weaponize this wisdom. They know that once you believe you already trust them, you'll stop asking questions. And the moment curiosity dies, so does clarity. That's why this question is so dangerous. It makes you feel guilty for being cautious, as if wisdom itself were disloyalty. But the truth is simple. Caution is not betrayal. Caution is wisdom. No architect builds a bridge without checking its foundations. No commander leads an army without testing his allies. Why should you give away trust without proof? So, what would a Stoic do? He would not panic. He would not rush to reassure. He would not crumble under guilt. He would remain calm, detached, clear. This is apatheia, the discipline of refusing to let emotion overthrow reason. The next time someone asks, "You trust me, right?" Pause, breathe, and answer, "Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That single line flips the frame, because now the spotlight is no longer on you, but on them. A liar will stumble, change the subject, or lash out. But a person of integrity, they will not be offended. They will quietly keep proving themselves through action. Remember this. Trust is not a gift handed out under pressure. It is a fortress built stone by stone through time, truth, and consistency. And the Stoic never forgets. If you surrender that fortress too quickly, you surrender your peace. Question 3. Are you accusing me of something? At first it sounds like an honest question, but don't be deceived. This is not curiosity. It's defense turned into attack. It's the cleverest trick in the liar's playbook, flipping the spotlight. Here's how it works. You raise a concern. You notice a detail that doesn't add up. You ask for clarity. And instead of getting answers, you're suddenly confronted with sharpness. "Wait, are you accusing me of something?" In that instant, the stage shifts. You're no longer the one observing. You're now on trial. You've gone from truth seeker to villain in a single sentence. And what happens next? Most people panic. They rush to explain themselves. No, I didn't mean it that way. They backpedal. They soften their words, and without realizing it, they've already lost their ground. The manipulator has succeeded, not by proving innocence, but by forcing you into defense. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence in Stoicism does not mean weakness. It means refusing to play the game on someone else's terms. Think of a courtroom. If the guilty can make the judge apologize, the trial collapses. That's exactly what this question is designed to do, to turn the judge into the accused. You've probably seen this in real life. A boss confronted about missing funds snaps back, "Are you accusing me of stealing?" A partner questioned about secrecy responds with hurt, "So now you're accusing me of cheating." The goal is always the same, to turn your reasonable search for truth into an unfair attack, to make you feel guilty for simply noticing. So what would the Stoic do? He would not stumble into defense. He would not rush to fill the silence. Instead, he would hold his ground, breathe, keep his eyes steady, and after a pause, 2, maybe 3 seconds, he would calmly reply, "Should I be?" 3 words. That's all. But those words slice through the disguise, because liars expect panic. They expect you to back away. What they never expect is power delivered with calmness. Remember, the one who asks, "Are you accusing me of something?" often reveals more than they realize. They're telling you where their fear lives. They're pointing, unintentionally, at the very thing they're desperate to hide. And a Stoic never forgets. Truth does not panic. Wisdom does not apologize for observation. Question 4. Would I ever lie to you? This one is poison wrapped in velvet. It sounds soft, almost wounded, as if your doubt itself were an insult. Would I ever lie to you? But look deeper. Why would someone even need to ask such a question, unless they already feared you were close to the truth? Make no mistake, this is not a question. It's theater. It's a performance designed to make them look noble and you cruel, because if they can make you feel guilty for doubting, you'll stop asking. You'll bury your instincts. You'll silence the very radar that was protecting you. And once that happens, they don't need to defend their lies. You've already defended them for them. Seneca warned, if it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it. A person of integrity doesn't need to convince you they would never lie. They simply live in such a way that the thought never even crosses your mind. Day after day, action replaces words. No performance needed. But the manipulator, he thrives on performance. Imagine the colleague who dodges accountability, but insists, come on, would I really lie to you? Or the partner who hides their messages but pleads with hurt eyes, would I ever lie to you? The more they lean on this script, the more you should question what lies beneath, because guilt is their weapon and your silence is their victory. So how does the Stoic respond? Not with panic, not with desperate reassurance. He doesn't rush to say, of course not. Instead, he lets the silence breathe. 2-3 seconds, and then with calm clarity he replies, that's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did? Do you feel the shift? In a single moment, the stage changes. The manipulator who wanted you blinded by guilt is suddenly standing in the floodlight, because liars survive in fog, but fog cannot survive the sun, and the truth is the brightest sun there is. Remember this. Honest people do not fear scrutiny. They don't flinch when you ask hard questions. They don't hide behind theater. Only liars do. So never confuse the performance of innocence with the presence of truth. Question 5. Can't we just move on? This is the last card in the liar's deck, the desperation play. When denial fails, when distraction fails, when guilt no longer holds you, this is the line they throw like a drowning man clinging to a rope. Can't we just move on? At first it sounds like peace. It sounds like closure. After all, who doesn't want to move forward? Who doesn't want to heal? But listen carefully. This is not about resolution. It's about escape. What they are really saying is, I don't want accountability. I don't want the truth. I just need you too tired to keep asking questions. And that is how many lies survive, not because the liar outsmarts the truth, but because the truth seeker grows weary and gives up. Think of real life. A company caught in scandal tells its employees, let's not dwell on the past, let's focus on the future. A spouse exposed in betrayal pleads, why keep talking about this? Let's move forward. But in both cases, the plea isn't for healing, it's for silence. It's an attempt to bury what still festers in the dark. The Stoics knew this tactic well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Notice, he never added, unless it's inconvenient. For the Stoic, truth has no expiration date. Justice has no deadline. Clarity cannot be rushed. So what does the Stoic do when faced with, can't we just move on? He doesn't explode. He doesn't argue endlessly. He stands firm, calm, unshakable. He breathes and replies, I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before. That single sentence changes everything. It tells the liar you cannot be exhausted into silence, that your peace is built on clarity, not on fatigue. And liars hate this, because their weapon is not strength, it's your exhaustion. If they can wear you down, they win. But when you refuse to surrender, when you anchor yourself in reason, the game is over. Remember, moving on is not about speed. It's about honesty. And only when truth is faced can peace truly begin. Liars thrive on one thing, and it's not truth. It's not logic. It's not even evidence. They thrive on emotion. They don't need to prove their point. They just need to make you lose your balance. If they can make you feel guilty for asking questions, if they can shame you as too sensitive, if they can exhaust you until you're too tired to keep searching, then they don't need chains to control you. You'll chain yourself. This is the battlefield of manipulation, not facts, not reason, emotion. And this is exactly where Stoicism becomes your shield. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control, others are not." That single line is the foundation of freedom. When you know what belongs to you and what doesn't, the manipulator's grip breaks instantly. When they try to guilt you, remember, their feelings are not your responsibility. When they accuse you of being too sensitive, remember, awareness is a strength, not a weakness. When they try to wear you down, remember, time itself is neutral. Truth has no deadline. Picture this. A storm rages. Winds howl, rain lashes, thunder crashes. The manipulator wants you swept away, flailing, panicked. But the Stoic? He stands still in the center of it all, calm when others lose control, clear when others are blinded, unmoved while chaos screams around him. This is the secret manipulators never expect. Their greatest weapon only works if you give them your reaction. Take that away, and the weapon shatters in their hands. The Stoic knows silence can be strength. Observation can be power. Detachment can be liberation. To breathe instead of reacting. To see instead of assuming. To respond with reason instead of panic. Imagine holding the sword of clarity steady while the world around you spins with deceit. That's Stoic power. And once you step into it, manipulation loses its grip forever. Now you know the 5 questions liars use to control and confuse. Each one is not just a phrase, it's a move on the chessboard. Each one designed to make you doubt yourself, to silence your instincts, to weaken your defenses. But you are no longer a pawn. You are the player. The Stoic does not need to shout. He does not need to rage. He simply stands steady, gazes into truth, and lets the liar reveal themselves. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all knew the same reality. The man who sees clearly is dangerous, not because he is violent, but because he cannot be controlled. So remember this, you are not cruel for having standards. You are not harsh for seeking truth. You are not weak for noticing deception. You are awake. And in a world built on shadows, the awake are feared. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Walk as a Stoic warrior. Calm, observant, unshakable. If this message speaks to you, tap like, subscribe to Stoic Spring, and share this lesson with someone who needs it. And in the comments, write just 3 words, "I choose clarity," because the liar's greatest weapon is doubt, and the Stoic's eternal shield is truth.